grabbing a little more. This is cream top like ratio, I forgot to mention. Just with the tip of my brush. Hi friends, welcome to this class. We're going to paint a pumpkin, actually a couple pumpkins. I already painted this once before, so this is my second version. I decided to simplify it for the class because my overall painting, the first one, is 14 by 19. It's pretty large and there's a lot of pumpkins to paint in there and it takes a long time. Plus, I just want to focus more on an individual pumpkin to explain more than rush through to get to the other ones. So it's not like a 4-hour class, basically. Now, before we begin layering the pumpkin, because that will be the first object that we're going to paint, I would like you to grab a wax stick if you have it for the pumpkin. If you don't have wax stick, this is basically like a candle. I get these from Hobby Lobby, and it's a very useful tool. When you have a textured paper and you rub it in there, you'll be able to recreate some of that texture over the pumpkins that have like all these highlights and you see texture. So actually, let's start with that. So what I'm going to do is kind of rub on toward the paper. So you want to have a textured paper. If you have like the new version of the collection, cold press, for example, it's gonna feel too much like hot pressed. You want to have like a rough watercolor paper. Cold press will work too, but the true cold pressed that has texture like arches, for example. So I'm going to apply it here because this is where I see the texture. Now, one thing it's important to actually remember to do is remove some of these sketch lines wherever you're going to apply this wax stick, because wax stick is permanent. It does not come off. So here, maybe a little bit of that wax here and over here because we can see the texture, some texture. And then here, something like that. And then let's hop on here where we have all this. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit here too. I'm pressing it a little harder on the paper, but I can see all that. Actually, I'm going to use a completely different eraser. This is the one that I normally use. So this is my kneaded eraser. That's the way to go, basically. And I'm just going to press on the areas where I want to apply that wax stick. And then there's my wax stick. And I'm going to apply it here. You want to follow the pattern, so you don't want to go like a straight line down. You want to follow these lines because this is round, like the pumpkin is round. And then here too. All right, my friends, first step, let's wet this pumpkin. I'm holding a flat 24 brush, Da Vinci Casanao. It's a softer brush, and I'm going to start wetting. As soon as you start wetting this area of the pumpkin, after using wax stick, you will see like how the water just does not get absorbed inside. I forgot to mention, don't worry if you don't have a wax stick. You don't have to use it. You can just use masking fluid. Another thing is you don't even have to use masking fluid at all if you don't want to. Just stay away, just like I will be showing it to you here anyway, but you stay away from these areas overall, like to keep them as light as possible. So wax stick is optional, just like masking fluid for watercolors. So please don't get discouraged if you want to paint something and you see that I'm using wax stick or masking but you don't have it. You can still paint whatever we're painting in a class. And I'm going to grab with that slightly wet brush. I do want it actually to be a little more wet. I want this to feel more like a water like ratio at first, and try to have like 2 of these yellows that you have. I have imidazolone yellow, ISO yellow, but try not to mix them on the palette. Let that mixing to happen on the paper. Look for these like most orange areas at first and try to figure out the pattern, because like we have all these lines, sketch lines. Try to first apply the yellows, the shades of yellow, and try to make sure that this is like water-like ratio. This one over here. And then this is highlighted, but we still need to add some color. I'm gonna grab a little more of that ISO yellow with it, because ISO yellow is more like orange. yellow, and it's more like what we see actually in the reference. I don't want to start with it right away because I want to slowly apply the colors. Feel it out right here. This one, for example, the middle one. And then we have, this would be like a greenish, and then there's the orange one. And then we have some over here as well, right? And then going back here again, because this is the area that needs to be highlighted, I still want to add color on the bottom here. What will help is actually grabbing a little smaller brush in a second. More of that ISO yellow with the imidazolone yellow. So this is the greenish part. And then this would be the one in the middle, more like orange. And I'm going to grab the same colors, but this time, so ISO yellow, imidazolone yellow here, and this time some of this ochre and quin red. So now I'm creating like a shade of, new shade of like orange in a way. So now for real, we're going to actually separate these stripes. So one here, more of those yellows with the pink, both pinks, which is I have the quinacridone red and ochre. And then this is the stripe, the most orange one. And then here again, in between. Because otherwise, I'm going to speed up the process of like drying the paper. I still want the flow. Just pull it up. You can make it lighter too. Like you don't have to make it as vibrant. It's up to you. And here, very gently, I'm coming back here because if I don't, then this area of the paper will dry very fast. So because you constantly like grab the 2 yellows and 2 reds, right? You're changing the ratios between the colors. So sometimes you have more of the ISO yellow, sometimes more of the ochre. So you bring all these different shades of that orange, you're creating different shades over that pumpkin too, if that makes sense. So that's what makes it look natural. And all of this here. Now, as for the shadows, I'm going to grab the reds. I'm not cleaning my brush, I'm just grabbing the reds. And I'm going to grab, let's see, the cleanest blue actually would be phthalo blue, not even cobalt blue. It would be phthalo blue red shade, but I can only speak for Holbein colors. So I'm going to place it here. This is the reds, both of the reds with that phthalo blue. And trust me, I get lost here too, like with all this pattern, all these stripes. I do. It's not a secret. It's like I have to constantly like look at the reference. Okay, what area is this? Okay. So in a second, we're gonna add a little bit of these the shades of for the green. We're not gonna paint the pattern quite yet to make this more natural here, this shade. Again, I'm not trying to make this all shadowed right now, but I just want the soft shadows from the start, just to have it here. So this is back to my round 8, softer round 8 brush. This is going to be the combination of the greens with the blues. So this is my pattern, okay? I could grab some green as well. I'm sorry, the red as well. So it's something like this. I just want a little bit of it here. Well, it's too bluish. I want it to be more greenish. So this is okay because this should be a little darker when you look at the pumpkin. But I'm gonna touch just the pumpkin with the tip of my brush. Grabbing a little more. This is cream top like ratio, I forgot to mention. Now I've added red, and because of that doesn't feel like I neither green or blue. That's okay. Because it kind of looks like we can't quite tell like what color it is. So I don't want to do too much here because this is the highlighted part. And then all the way down there, but I think it's a little late for me. So take a quick look at your pumpkin to see if you need to lift colors anywhere, because if you do, then this is the timing to do it. Now I'm going to quickly add the pattern here because this actually would work great if it was all like blurred out too, this part, because it's out of focus. What I could do is actually use a damp brush to quickly soften this one, because that's in the background there. It's part of the pumpkin. And then here, just a damp brush, lifting color and pushing it a little bit. Let's walk away from this and let it dry. So thank you so much for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions.